So we've decided that this year we'd like to start selling at some of the local markets. So that means we're going to need a table and display to do so. So in this video we're going to be doing a few different smaller projects to get that kind of ready. We're going to be using this piece of pine that I milled up from a tree we cut down, and that's ultimately going to become some live edge kind of display shelves. We're also going to be making a little rack holder type thing to put some flatwork on, as well as a sign for the front of our booth. So like I said, this is going to be just some smaller little projects to get us ready for that. So the first little project we're going to do is going to be this display rack for flatwork. Basically, if you can just imagine a plate holder like you would see at a store, only on an incline. So I went ahead and plugged in the things I knew into Google, and it spit out the rest of the angles and measurements. So we'll go ahead and start getting some stuff cut and glued up. so I've got another piece of that same pine that we already milled up for our shelves. This one was a little bit smaller and has some really cool natural stuff going on. So I already had gone ahead and ran this through the planer, and then all these branches where there's cracks coming from the pits, I went ahead and filled those and all these other cracks with some red resin and went ahead and ran this down again. So now what we're going to do is get this set up in the CNC, and we're going to have it cut out a sign that'll go on the front of our table at our display. We are all set up on the CNC. The lettering on the sign is actually going to be a little bigger than the CNC can handle, so I've done a bunch of layout and broken this down into trainers and turning as two different words. So we're going to start off by cutting turning, and then we will reposition the piece and cut the trainers part. So we'll go ahead and get everything zeroed out and start the run. So here's our display all finished up. We got our sign hanging on the front here that just clips onto the back. Our 2 live edge pine shelves from the wood we milled, and those are pretty much housing the segmented college bowls. And then we've also got our little dish rack, and as soon as I finish up some more of these Michigan wall hangings, those will go there as well. So let me know what you guys think of the display, and if you've got any comments or tips or anything, let me know. Thanks for watching.